He was one of the greatest physical comedians of his era, and we lost him too soon. John Ritter passed away in 2003 from an undetected flaw in his aorta. His widow has spent the last 20 years keeping his memory alive and raising awareness. Earlier, we spoke with Amy Yasbeck. Take a look.
Please welcome to the show, Amy Yasbeck.
I want to talk about the personal side. When did you know you were in love with John?
Kind of right away, but it just kept getting more and more and more undeniable. You know that feeling?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, haha, that's funny. We have that in common. Oh, that's cute. Haha. And then it was just like, here's a soulmate. And I had him for a long time. We were together for 14 years. And we'd only been married for 4 when he passed away. So,
my heart, I do understand, and I thank you for telling us about that. When you two were dating, did John have any signature moves that worked or didn't work on you?
In bed?
Sure.
Well, Amy, what do you want to share with us today?
You've seen the man fall over a couch and smash a pie in his face? It was like that, but slower and with rhythm.
Yeah.
Get back on the subject.
That was a great description that I'll always think of John now when I rewatch Three's Company. I love that. So let's get into some other stuff. We recently had Henry Winkler on our show, and he said it was a dream come true to play on the Hollywood softball team with John. Was John a competitive person?
John was a baseball fanatic, and he had been a pitcher as a kid, and he was a kid in LA. He was like 10 years old when the Brooklyn Dodgers became the LA Dodgers, and his parents used to host parties for them at his house. So he was competitive, but he had fun, but he always brought his mitt to the game just in case he'd need to call to duty.
You know, we're not only trying to educate the people that might suffer from this, but also the people that live with them and love them. So I'm going to ask you, did you notice any early signs that something was wrong? Listen,
here's the thing. There's no signs, because the thing that usually is the kind of precursor to this dissection is an aneurysm, which, let's say, so your aorta is like the kind of diameter of like a garden hose. So when there's trouble, sometimes a genetic problem or something that makes it unstable, it's made up of 3 layers, but it can have like a bubble in it, like an aneurysm is what it's called. And it can get that little tear. There's a little tear on the inside of it, and then the blood goes into that tear instead of going to your brain and your body and your arms and your legs where it's supposed to go, right? So, but before that feeling of the tear, which is that ripping chest pain, and it could be a lot of different symptoms, the aneurysm that might be growing for years, which John's probably did, has no symptoms. So, and because this thing can be genetic and sneaks up on people like that, you might not know whether even you had it in your family, because somebody might, like John and his brother Tom's dad was Tex Ritter, the singing cowboy. America's most beloved cowboy was his nickname, whatever. And he had a chest pain bad while he was bailing one of his band members out of jail in Nashville, and he died on the spot, and they always thought it was a heart attack because they didn't know. Now we know that's pretty much for sure what happened to him, because John's brother Tom had an aneurysm, like I was describing before, in the exact same place that John's was 4 years after John's died. We caught it. He's fixed. He's good. He's fixed. He would like that. His aorta is fixed. But because they knew what to expect. So you guys, if you would do me the great favor of going to johnritterfoundation.org and just really learning about that stuff, you can't, it all makes sense the way we have it laid out, but you just kind of have to know it. You will save lives. It's incredible.
Amy, I love your advocacy. I love what you're doing all these years later. You make it fun to listen to as well. You throw some humor in there, so we really appreciate you. DBL Nation, you can learn more about the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health at johnritterfoundation.org. Again, Amy, thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Honestly, thank you. One of the best interviews we've ever had. What a great interview. Thank you.
How kind of you. Thank you.